If gods are eternal, if they never grow old, never hunger, never die, why do they feast? Why do ancient texts, carvings and songs from Greece to India to Mesoamerica show divine beings lifting goblets, breaking bread and sipping strange, glowing elixirs? And what happens when a mortal, just once, tastes what was meant for the divine? This is not just myth, it's a pattern. Across every corner of human civilization, gods don't simply reign, they dine. But not on earthly bread and meat. They consume something else, something hidden, something sacred. Call it ambrosia, or soma, or the fruit of paradise. The food of the gods has always been more than a meal. It is a gateway, a boundary between divine and mortal, a symbol of power, immortality, and sometimes punishment. So what exactly is divine food? Why is it always hidden, lost, or forbidden? And why do we, thousands of years later, still yearn to taste it? High above the mortal world, atop the clouds of Mount Olympus, the gods of ancient Greece gathered in divine banquet. At their table, two sacred substances: ambrosia, food of the gods; nectar, their divine drink. Together, these were more than cuisine. They were essence, fuel for immortality, markers of divine privilege. To the Olympians, ambrosia and nectar were daily fare. But to mortals, they were dangerous temptations. In rare moments, mortals who consumed it were changed forever. Heracles, after death, was granted a place among the gods, said to dine with them, nourished by ambrosia. Achilles, as a child, was anointed with ambrosia by his mother, Thetis, to make him invulnerable. But it wasn't always a gift. When mortals overstepped, when they tried to claim the food of the gods for themselves, tragedy followed. Tantalus, a mortal king, once dined with the Olympians. He stole ambrosia and nectar and shared it with humans. For this blasphemy, he was cursed to stand eternally hungry and thirsty, food and water always just out of reach. Ambrosia was exclusive, a line drawn between gods and humans. To eat it uninvited was to challenge the natural order, a defiance that rarely ended well. Yet the allure remained, because ambrosia was never just food, it was immortality itself, in edible form. Before Olympus rose, before the first Greek banquet, in the sacred texts of ancient India, there was Soma. It was unlike any other divine substance. It was a drink. It was a god. It was a gateway to the cosmos. In the Rig Veda, one of the oldest religious texts in the world, Soma is praised in over 100 hymns. It is described as a golden, intoxicating liquid, crushed from a mysterious plant, filtered through wool, and offered in fire rituals. It was not merely consumed, it was sacrificed, poured into the fire to feed the gods themselves. And then, it was drunk by the priests. The effects were extraordinary. Strength beyond human limits, visions of the divine, and, for the gods, immortality. The god Indra, wielder of lightning, was said to have drunk rivers of Soma before slaying demons. It was his fuel, his divine power source. Some believe it was a now extinct herb. Others suggest it was a psychedelic mushroom or a hallucinogenic root. Its true identity remains a mystery, lost to time, like the plant itself. To consume it was to connect with the sacred, to dissolve the boundary between self and the universe. Unlike ambrosia, a feast for the gods, Soma was a conversation with the cosmos, a drink that spoke back. The divine feast wasn't unique to Olympus or the Vedic fire altars. To the ancient Maya, cacao, the seed of chocolate, was not dessert. It was divine currency, used in royal rituals, funerals, and offerings to gods. Cacao was considered a gift from the heavens. In Mayan myth, the gods cultivated the cacao tree themselves and gifted it to humans. Cacao is the food of the gods, a sacred drink that nourishes the soul. In the cold, fierce realms of Norse myth, even gods feared age. Their salvation? The golden apples of Idun. These apples granted eternal youth, but only as long as Idun remained safe. When she was kidnapped, the gods began to wither, age, and weaken. In the heart of Mesoamerica, another sacred drink foamed in ceremonial cups. Pulque, a milky, fermented drink made from the agave plant. More than nourishment, pulque was a portal, used in festivals of fertility, intoxication, and transformation. Linked to the moon goddess Mayahuel, pulque blurred the line between ecstasy and divine connection. In the Taoist heavens, time moves slowly, and deep within the Jade Palace grows a fruit that defies it, the peaches of immortality. These peaches, tended by the Queen Mother of the West, ripen only once every 3,000 years. When they do, the gods gather in a rare feast, a celebration of eternity. One bite, and the eater transcends time itself. Immortal, omniscient, divine. And yet, we keep reaching, again and again. Not because we're starving for sustenance, but because we're starving for transcendence. The gods eat to remind us of what we're not. But the moment we try to share their meal, we pay the price.